Do you really need 12 speakers to mix in Atmos? Or... So the obvious elephant in the room is that an Atmos setup for a studio is like bloody expensive. All the speakers, cabling, stands, needing one hell of an audio interface. And don't forget the room requirements, ceiling heights, boatloads of acoustic treatment. Because, 12 or more speakers firing sound all over the room from every angle, like a drunken food fight at Dolby that's gone horribly wrong. So the way I look at it is this: there's two camps of people. There's those that have to spend their money on a proper Atmos setup, and those that don't. So who actually needs a proper Atmos setup? Now, the answer's pretty obvious. If you're trying to make money doing Atmos mixes, well, then I guess you're kind of shit out of luck. So pry open that wallet, take open a fourth mortgage on the studio, maybe sell some organs on the black market. Hammonds, not your kidneys. Though I suppose you could sell kidneys too. I guess how badly do you want this Atmos setup is the real question. Now what about the rest of us who don't have the need, room, money, or kidneys to sell, but who still want to be able to mix in Atmos, or just be able to experiment with working in surround? Well then it's 5.1 for the rest of us. Now before you start shitting all over me in the comments, just hear me out because I have 5 valid reasons why this can totally work. Now first off, cost. Getting an Apollo X16 or something like that is just bonkers money. On the other hand, getting a regular audio interface with at least 6 outputs is pretty cheap. Many of you probably already have one. Number 2, speakers. Now being that it's almost 2026, I'd have to assume most of you have at least 2 monitors and a subwoofer. So adding 3 more speakers to your setup is a far easier ask than say 10 or more. And if you can get them all used, it can be even cheaper. 3 is consumer playback systems. The vast majority of anyone who listens to an Atmos music mix is gonna hear it on headphones. Some might have soundbars, some might even have a 5.1 setup at home. And only a tiny amount of people are gonna have a full-blown Atmos system set up in their house, unless of course they're made of money. And out of that teeny tiny little group of people, how many of them are actually listening to your music? 4th reason is this: Atmos is designed to expand and contract, depending on the number of speakers in the playback system. So it's just a file format. There's no law that says that you have to use all the speakers in order for it to count as an Atmos mix. It would be like saying you can't record a mono album to a CD because CDs support stereo. Okay, now before we hit the last reason, I just want to touch on headphones just for a minute. Now if we're talking just stereo, yes, you can mix on headphones if you need to. Atmos is a different animal though. Now I know there are headphones that try to emulate a 714 setup in headphones, but in my experience, they're not there yet. Now one reason is that even though they're going to be mono tracks, say a kick drum and a bass guitar, in stereo they're going to be equally coming out of the left and right speakers, and it's going to sound a certain way. Now if you put them just in the center speaker, it sounds completely different. And at least not any of the headphone plugins that I've tried emulate this whatsoever. And then the other reason is just down to the shape of our ears. Depending on how your ears are shaped determines how effective these plugins can even be. Even making a personalized HRTF, you still might hear little to no difference. I sure as hell don't. Okay, so here's the 5th and final reason. The icing on the cake. Atmos is still based on 5.1. Your 4 height speakers fold down into your front and rear speakers. Your rears would fold down into the side speakers, or your rear surrounds in 5.1 speak. So even with only a 5.1 setup, you can still hear how a 7.1.4 setup sounds. You're not losing anything, albeit it's not spread out the same way. So I'd still err on the side of caution a little bit, but everything's still there in a 5.1 setup. And even when you're checking an Atmos mix to make sure it meets loudness requirements, guess what? You do that in 5.1, not in Atmos. So if you do happen to be interested in learning how to mix in Atmos, or at least get started, but you don't happen to have this giant room or pud loads of money, then just start with a 5.1 setup. You can at least get started working in surround in a far more budget-friendly and space-friendly way. And if later on down the road you really like it and you want to spend the extra dough, have at her, complete the setup. So now, a question for you guys. What type of setups do you guys have? Are you still working in stereo, or do you have any type of surround setups? Just let me know down in the comments below. And other than that, I just want to thank everybody for watching. I've been Mr. Jeff, and I'll see y'all guys in the next one, so take it easy. Bye!